Okay, so first thing to do, log into Onshape, go to create, you're going to start a document, you're going to title this, you can call this Crayon Bank. Okay, I'm going to call mine Crayon Bank, and then you say OK. And this is going to start you right with our software right here. Now, I'm going to go to the parts that I've already drawn, but I'll show you how to create things going from there. So I'm going to pause this and come back. Okay, I'm going to try to draw this thing completely from my drawing here. I'm not going to use my ruler to measure the part. I did that before when I made the original parts. But since you guys are going to have this as your reference, you won't have the original part. I thought I'd do this from the drawing. So I'm going to zoom in down here right now on this section of the drawing. And explanation of the dimensions here, these guys along this side in particular are called ordinate dimensioning. It starts at 0. That means that from this bottom line right here to this line, it is 0.25 inches. This dimension here goes from this bottom line to this one up here. Now, if I want to know what the distance is from here to here, all I have to do is take that number and subtract that one from it, and I'll get something like 0.563, which is 5/8 of an inch, which is 0.58625. So anyways, those are the that's an explanation of these dimensions. So the very first thing I want to do is I'm going to draw this bottom part here, which has a diameter of 3.063, and then I'm going to draw this next stage up here that has a diameter, and you have to get that one from up here, 3.188. Once I have those two things done, then we're going to do the angled piece, and I will come back and show that to you when I have these two parts created. Just a quick note for you, I'm going to start this sketch. So I'm going to start sketch, and I'm actually going to start on this top surface, and I'm going to right click and say view normal to sketch plane. That way I'm looking down at it from the top. Just wanted to give you that little beginner hint, or beginning hint, I guess is the best way to put it. Okay, so I've got those two circles that I just extruded up the distance that's showing on the drawing now. And the next part of this thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this angled cone piece on here. There's a couple different ways you could do that. I could draw a center line on the part and make a sketch and draw a center line and revolve it around. Or I can use a loft, and I like the loft idea quite a lot. So I'm going to go to loft. First thing I got to do, by the way, is I'm going to take this 3.563 and I'm going to subtract away 0.813 from it. Whenever you see a number that looks like this, it's actually been rounded up. So it's actually 3.5625, and this one is 0.8125 probably. Anyways, if I subtract this 813 from here, I get a distance of 2.75 approximately. So I'm going to go back to my part here, and I need to first do a plane for my upper part of this cone. So I'm going to click, whoopsie, I goofed. I'm going to start the plane command. I'm going to click on that, and I get this arrow pointing up, and I'm going to change its distance to 2.75. Okay, and check mark. Now I'm going to put on to here. I'm going to start a sketch, and I'm going to do it on this surface, and I can right click and say normal to. And I'm going to take a look at my drawing here, and I will see that there's a dimension of 2.673 right here. Then the upper one, that smaller hole, is 1.125. So 2.673 is the dimension for the circle that I want to draw on top of this part. So right here, I'm going to click the origin and select oops, I always goof that up. That's okay. I'll just dimension it like this. And that dimension is 2.673. Enter. Okay. And then I will finish that sketch. And I'll right click and say isometric. Now I'm going to start a sketch up here on this plane. I'll right click and say view normal to the sketching plane, and I'll click the circle and hit this one right here, and this is 1.125 for a diameter, and I'll check mark. Then right click and say isometric. Okay, now the loft command is right here. I'm going to select that. This is going to be add. So I'm going to click on this large circle and then this smaller circle, and it will create the cone for me. And then I can go in and turn off the visibility of this plane. Okay, in this upper right hand corner of the drawing is a really important note. It says wall thickness 0.03125, and then I put in parentheses use the shell command. So I'm going to go back to my part, and I'm going to just go to the bottom here. You can either use a view cube or right click on your mouse and just move it like that by holding the mouse and moving it around. That's called orbit. Okay, shell command is right here, and faces to remove is going to be that bottom surface, and my shell thickness is going to be that 0.03125 distance, and I'm going to hit the enter key and green check mark, and then I can right click and go back to my isometric view. Okay, so now we are on to the tricky part of this part, and that is putting the slot in. And what you'll notice is that this slot is parallel to the angled surface here. So we have to create an angled work plane. And let's see, this isn't going to be much help to us right now, so we'll go here to this. Now, the way you go about doing this is we are going to insert what's called a script. I think that's the thing I call them in other softwares. So for lack of a better term, we're going to insert what's called a script. And you'll see this little plus sign on your toolbar, and you need to click on that. Now, what we're going to do is in the search bar, we're going to type in what's named a tangent plane. So type in tangent plane here and click on the little search guy. And what you'll do is you're going to get a list here, and this is the one that you want. It's the one that looks like inside a bracket, it's a little box, and it's called ellipse tangent plane. Yours won't say in progress. Mine says in progress because I have it on my computer already. And I'm going to click on that, and it should pop up with a little TP on your screen right there. Now, over here it says face to apply planes. So we're going to click on the cone part of this thing. And then the reference face is going to be one of these work planes right here. It could be the front one, it could be the right one. It doesn't matter. I'm going to choose right now and hit the green check mark. Now when I look at this from my right hand view, you'll see that that plane is at an angled surface. So let's go back to an isometric here, and I'm going to start a sketch right on here, and I'm then going to go view normal to, Okay, so I've gone back to my drawing. I'm all set to draw in my slot now, and what you'll notice here is that I have a slot width of 0.188 inches. It also has a couple dimensions here for the slot, and what I put here as a very important note is that the slot is centered vertically on the cone. So and it may be or may not be, just try to your best to get it as close as you can. I'll show you how to go about doing that. Okay, so back to my part. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a line, and I'm going to turn this into a construction line. I'm going to go down to this origin point, and I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to pull this line straight up vertically. Remember, construction lines, they don't create any geometry. Now, over to my rectangle command, and I'm going to click on the center point rectangle. And I'm just going to come out here to this line and let it highlight, and then I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to pull it up and to the right. You can go up and to the left, you can go down and to the right. It doesn't matter which way you go, and I'm going to select that. Now the first thing it wants to do is give me a width dimension, so I'm going to put 0.1875 in, and then a height. I think the height is like 1.5 inches, if I remember right. And then I'm going to take a look at it and say to myself, does it look centered? And by the way, if it's not centered, you can just click on it, click on one of the corners. Should be able to anyways. Click. Oh, sorry about that. You got to escape the, I had to escape my rectangle command there. Oh, my computer's regenerating. There we go. All right, so I'm out of the command now. Now I should be able to put my cursor on it and just move it, and it moves it up a little bit or down, whichever way I want to go with it. And green check mark. And then I'll look at this isometrically, and I'll spin it around once or twice just to get me to my, so I can see it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude this, and it's going to be remove. The item that I want to cut out is this, and it's going in, and I can put this in a distance of 0.05. I think it will be sufficient. Hit enter. Should be fine. If not, we'll just change it. Green check mark. Whoop. I don't think it went through all the way. So we'll go back to our extrude here and double click on it. I'll put in 0.125. I know it's going to be deep enough this time. Check mark. Yeah, looks about the same. But I can see this back edge in here. And now I know that that slot has been created. This plane, this is the tangent plane. I'm going to just turn it off. And now I have to just put on fillets and radiuses. And you know how to do fillets already. They're all called out on here. They all happen on this bottom left-hand side of the drawing is where they're all called out. You could put those on yourself, and we are done with this part. So you can save it.